Every man must watch this video before dating again. You did not fail in your last relationship because you weren't attractive enough, successful enough, or because she wasn't the right one. You failed because you walked into that relationship and everyone before it as an incomplete man who was hoping the relationship would complete him. And the most dangerous part of that, you had no idea you were doing it. That is the truth nobody in your life is going to say to your face. Not your friends who are trapped in the same patterns. Not the internet, which is more interested in validating your wounds than challenging them. And certainly not the next woman you're planning to pursue, because she can't see what you can't see in yourself. But it's visible. It's always visible. And until you address it, the pattern doesn't change. Only the names do. This is not a video about how to talk to women. This is not about texting tactics or attraction hacks. This is about something older, harder, and far more important. The psychological architecture a man must build inside himself before he can show up as anything other than a liability in a relationship. Most men never build it. They approach dating as if it's a search for something missing. The self-aware man approaches it from a different premise entirely. He shows up already. He is not searching, he is selected. The difference between those two postures determines everything. The vacancy problem. There is a specific kind of hunger that drives most men into relationships. It doesn't feel like hunger. It feels like desire, like attraction, like love. But underneath the feeling, if you examine it honestly, there is a vacancy. A hollow space inside that you are hoping another person will fill. This is not a weakness. It is human. But it becomes catastrophic when you mistake it for romantic readiness. When you carry a vacancy into a relationship, you transform the other person, without meaning to, into a source of supply. Their attention becomes your oxygen. Their approval calibrates your self-worth. Their moods become your emotional weather. You do not experience the relationship as two sovereign people choosing each other. You experience it as one person trying desperately not to be abandoned by the thing they cannot live without. Psychologists call this anxious attachment. Philosophers call it dependency. Men who've lived it call it the worst kind of trap. The one you build for yourself. The vacancy isn't filled by the relationship. It is merely masked by it. And the moment the mask slips, the first fight, the first silence, the first moment she pulls back, the vacancy returns. And now, it's wearing panic. The work that must happen before you date again is not to find someone who makes you feel full. It is to do the slower, less exciting work of actually becoming full. Building a life that is genuinely yours, with direction, discipline, purpose, and presence. Not because it makes you more attractive, though it does, but because without it, you are not offering a woman a partner. You are offering her a project, the mirror you never looked into. Most men move through life with a deeply unexamined self-image. They know what they want, they know what they don't want, but they have almost no clear-eyed understanding of what they actually project. The signal their behavior, their posture, their choices, and their emotional patterns send to the world. This is not vanity, this is self-knowledge. And without it, you are flying blind. Consider this. Every woman you've been attracted to has read you within minutes of meeting you, not your resume, not your intentions. She reads your energy, the subtle information your body, your speech, your eyes, and your reactions communicate about your internal state. She felt whether you were grounded or seeking, whether your confidence was real or performed, whether your interest in her came from abundance or from desperation. You cannot hide this. Social intelligence in human beings is ancient. Millions of years of evolutionary refinement in reading whether the person in front of us is a threat or a resource, calm or chaotic, whole or hollow. A woman's nervous system is calibrated to detect stability, and it detects its absence just as precisely. This is why the man who has done genuine inner work, who has built self-awareness, faced his own shadows, developed emotional regulation, is different in rooms. Not because he follows a script, because his baseline state has shifted. He is not performing calmly, he is actually calm. Before you date again, you need to sit with uncomfortable questions. What are your actual patterns? Do you pursue women who are unavailable because the chase is safer than the intimacy? Do you lose yourself in relationships, abandoning your own standards, your own time, your own opinions to match hers? Do you confuse intensity with connection? Do you attach quickly and then resent the attachment? These are not questions designed to shame you. They are the questions a man who respects himself enough to change will ask before he repeats the same year for the 10th time with a different face across the table. Confidence is not a performance. There is a version of confidence that the internet has sold men, and it is almost entirely wrong. It is confidence, a set of behaviors designed to project strength. Speak less, hold eye contact longer, don't text back too fast, never show that you care. This is not confidence. This is theater. And the difference is significant because one is built on solid ground and the other collapses the moment the performance becomes inconvenient. Real confidence is an internal orientation. It is the quiet certainty that you have value regardless of external validation. It does not require the other person to confirm it. It does not hinge on whether she responds, whether she stays, whether she approves. It is a posture of the soul, not a strategy of behavior. It is built slowly, through doing hard things, through keeping promises to yourself, through developing real competence in areas that matter to you, through confronting the parts of yourself you'd rather avoid. You cannot manufacture it. You can only earn it. The man who has earned real confidence does not need to perform it. He does not act distant to seem valuable. He does not withhold his interest to create mystery. He simply shows up as he is, with clarity and without apology, and trusts that his genuine self is sufficient. And if it isn't sufficient for a particular person, he does not catastrophize. He moves on. That last part, moving on without catastrophizing, is one of the clearest indicators of real psychological health in a man. Because the man who is still operating from vacancy cannot let go easily. Every rejection feels like confirmation of the fear he's been running from his whole adult life. What you're actually selecting for, before dating again, a man must become ruthlessly clear about what he is actually selecting for. Not what he thinks he should want, not what looks good, not what matches the image he has of himself as a successful man. What he genuinely needs in a partner to build a life that is aligned with his actual values. Most men have never done this exercise seriously. They have a vague checklist: physically attractive, good personality, emotionally mature. But these are categories, not criteria. And without genuine criteria, you are not selecting at all. You are reacting. You are reacting to who pursues you or who makes you feel most alive in the early stages, or who most closely resembles the relationships you grew up watching, regardless of whether those were functional or not. Clarity of selection is one of the most underrated qualities a man can develop, because the man who knows exactly what he is selecting for is impossible to manipulate into a misaligned relationship. He is not swept up by chemistry into ignoring incompatibility. He recognizes the difference between attraction and alignment, and he understands that a relationship built only on the first, without the second, has an expiration date. Ask yourself honestly, what kind of woman complements the life I am actually building, not the life I want people to think I'm building? What are the qualities without which I cannot function in a long-term partnership? What are the non-negotiables I have consistently ignored when attraction was involved? Write them down, not to build a shopping list, but to hold yourself accountable to your own standards when emotion wants to override reason. Emotional regulation is not optional. The greatest unaddressed crisis in men's romantic lives is emotional dysregulation, and almost nobody is talking about it with any honesty. Emotional dysregulation doesn't look like crying in the parking lot. It looks like shutting down completely during a difficult conversation. It looks like going cold when things get uncomfortable and calling it stoicism. It looks like explosive irritability over small things when the real issue is something you've never addressed. It looks like withdrawal as a punishment, silence as a weapon, and avoidance as a lifestyle. These are not personality traits. They are skills deficits, and they destroy relationships not in dramatic moments, but in the accumulated weight of hundreds of small interactions where the man was not emotionally present, available, or safe to talk to. The self-aware man recognizes that emotional regulation, the capacity to experience intense feeling without being controlled by it, to remain present in difficult conversations, to communicate his internal state honestly without weaponizing it, is not a soft skill. It is a load-bearing structure. Without it, no relationship can survive contact with reality. This is the work, not the gym work, not the career work, though those matter, but the inner work, learning to sit with discomfort without escaping into distraction, developing the language to articulate what is happening inside you, building the capacity to remain present with another person's emotions without immediately moving to fix, dismiss, or flee from them. This is not a weakness, this is craft. And the man who develops it becomes something rare, someone a woman can actually come home to. Stop treating relationships as the goal. Here is the inversion that changes everything. Most men treat being in a relationship as a destination, a place they are trying to reach. And this positioning turns every dating interaction into a pitch meeting. They are selling themselves, they are auditioning, they are trying to perform well enough to be selected. The self-aware man has reversed this entirely. He is not trying to get into a relationship, he is building a life with genuine purpose, with cultivated character, with ongoing growth. And he is assessing whether a particular person belongs inside that life. The posture is different, the power dynamic is different, and the quality of the relationships he creates is categorically different. When you are living a life of genuine substance, you are not desperate for a relationship to complete you because you are already occupied. You are focused on your craft, your health, your relationships with yourself and others, your intellectual and spiritual development. A woman becomes someone who adds to an already meaningful existence, not a rescue from an empty one. This is the shift, and it is not performative. You cannot fake a meaningful life. You have to build one. But when you have built one, genuinely, not as a dating strategy, everything about how you move in the world changes. The quality of people you attract changes. The quality of your own discernment changes. And the quality of the relationships you build changes accordingly. The fork in the road. Here is the moment in this video where most people feel the truth of what has been said and then go back to exactly what they were doing before. Because change requires something more uncomfortable than understanding. It requires action in the direction of resistance. It requires sitting with your own patterns honestly enough to disown them. It requires building things that take time and offer no immediate reward. It requires the willingness to be alone, genuinely alone, not temporarily without a girlfriend, long enough to become a man whose own company you can respect. Most men will not do this. They will watch this video, feel the resonance, and then open their phone and go back to the same patterns because the discomfort of staying the same is slightly less acute than the discomfort of changing. But you are not most men, or at least you do not have to be. The man who does this work, who builds himself not as a tactic but as a practice, does not go back to mediocre relationships. He does not tolerate dynamics that diminish him because he has developed the self-respect to recognize diminishment when it arrives. He does not give his emotional energy to people who treat it carelessly because he has learned that his attention is not a small thing to give away. He becomes, over time, the kind of man who attracts the kind of woman he actually deserves, not the kind he is willing to accept because he has not yet decided he is worth more. The only real standard that matters. Before you date again, ask yourself one question. Not, am I attractive enough? Not, am I successful enough? But this, am I genuinely someone I respect? Not in the performed sense, not the curated version you present, but in the private sense. When you are alone with yourself, with no audience, with your actual patterns and choices and habits and character fully visible to you, do you respect what you see? If the honest answer is not yet, then that is the work. And it is the only work that matters. Because every relationship you enter before that answer is yes will be built on sand. You do not need another relationship. You need a reckoning, a clear-eyed, honest appraisal of who you are and who you are becoming, and a deliberate decision to build the gap between those two things with intention. The man who does that work does not struggle in dating the way he once did, not because the world becomes easier, but because he becomes harder to shake. More grounded, more honest, more capable of real intimacy because he no longer fears what real intimacy reveals. That is what this work offers, not a shortcut, not a formula, a foundation. If this challenged you, if you felt something shift, then do not let this video be another piece of content you consumed and moved past. Use it. Sit with the questions it raised. Begin the work it points toward. The harder path is the one that actually leads somewhere, and you already know which path you have been on. The question now is which one you choose next.